Right now, in this very moment, you are one thought away from completely transforming your life. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. But here's what I want to know. When was the last time you actually chose your thoughts instead of letting them choose you? Show me your hands if you woke up this morning and the first thing that entered your mind was worry about money. Keep them up. Now raise your hand if you've spent more time today thinking about what could go wrong than what could go right. Look around. See how many of us are living as prisoners of our own minds. You think you're thinking your thoughts, but the truth is your thoughts are thinking you. They're running your life, determining your actions, shaping your reality, and most of the time you're not even aware it's happening. Let me tell you about a woman I knew who understood this principle in a way that changed everything. Sarah worked 3 jobs just to keep her family afloat. Every morning she'd wake up at 4:30 a.m. with the same thought, I can't keep doing this. By the time she got to her first job, she'd already run through a mental list of everything that was wrong with her life. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough help, not enough hope. One Tuesday morning, something shifted. She was standing in her kitchen, exhausted, holding a cup of coffee, and that familiar thought started creeping in. I can't keep doing this. But instead of letting it take over, she stopped. She actually said out loud, wait, who's thinking this thought? For the first time in years, she realized she was not her thoughts. She was the one observing them. She was the one who could choose them. In that moment, she made a decision that would change everything. She replaced, I can't keep doing this with I am finding better ways to provide for my family. The words felt strange at first. They didn't match her circumstances, but she kept repeating them. Throughout that day, instead of the mental replay of problems, she found herself looking for solutions. She noticed opportunities she'd walked past 100 times before. She started conversations with people she'd been too defeated to engage with. Within 3 weeks, one of those conversations led to a better job. Within 6 months, she was earning more than she had with all 3 jobs combined. The circumstances changed because her thinking changed first. She stopped being a victim of her thoughts and became the master of them. Now, I can hear some of you right now, but you don't understand my situation. You don't know what I'm dealing with. And you're right, I don't know your specific circumstances. But here's what I do know, your situation is not your sentence. You're thinking about your situation. Every single circumstance in your life is a direct result of the thoughts you've been thinking. This isn't feel-good philosophy. This is the fundamental law of life. You are where you are because of what you've been thinking about where you are. Think about your mind like a garden. You can plant flowers or you can plant weeds, but you cannot plant nothing. If you don't consciously choose what to plant, weeds will grow automatically. Those weeds are worry, fear, doubt, resentment, and self-pity. They don't need any encouragement. They'll take over your entire mental landscape if you let them. But here's the thing about gardens, you can pull up weeds anytime you want. You can plant new seeds anytime you want. You can transform a weed-filled plot into a garden of beauty, but only if you take responsibility for what you're planting. Most people live their entire lives as victims of their own uncontrolled thinking. They wake up and let their minds run wild. They read the news and let other people's thoughts become their thoughts. They talk to negative people and absorb their negativity. They replay past failures and imagine future disasters. Then they wonder why their lives are filled with struggle and disappointment. The person who controls their thoughts controls their destiny. Show me someone who has mastered their thinking, and I'll show you someone who has mastered their life. Show me someone who's a victim of their thoughts, and I'll show you someone who's a victim of their circumstance. This is why 2 people can face identical challenges and get completely different results. One person faces financial difficulty and thinks, I'll never get ahead. The system is rigged. Rich people have all the advantage. The other person faces the same financial difficulty and thinks, this is temporary. I'm learning valuable lessons. I'm going to find a way through this. Same circumstances, different thinking. completely different outcomes. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings create your action. Your actions create your results. Change your thinking, and you change your life. It's not philosophy, it's physics. It's the law of cause and effect operating in your mental world. When you think thoughts of lack, you feel discouraged. When you feel discouraged, you act defeated. When you act defeated, you get defeated results. When you think thoughts of abundance, you feel hopeful. When you feel hopeful, you act with confidence. When you act with confidence, you get confident results. This is why affirmations work, but only when you understand how they work. Most people use affirmations like magic spells. They say the words and expect miracles. But affirmations are training tools. They're how you deliberately reprogram the automatic patterns in your mind. What you think about expands. What you focus on grows. This is not positive thinking, wishful thinking. This is mental law. When you consistently think about problems, problems multiply. When you consistently think about solutions, solutions appear. If you've been thinking about debt, you'll notice more bills. If you've been thinking about abundance, you'll notice more opportunities. If you've been thinking about loneliness, you'll feel more isolated. If you've been thinking about love, you'll attract more loving relationships. Your mind is like a spotlight. Whatever you shine it on becomes bigger and brighter in your experience. Most people have their spotlight trained on everything they don't want. They're illuminating their problems, magnifying their fears, and focusing on their limitations. Then they wonder why these things keep showing up in their lives. Here's a question that will change everything. Are you going to continue being a victim of your thoughts, or are you going to become the master of them? This choice is available to you right now, in this moment. You don't have to wait until your circumstances change. You don't have to wait until you feel better. You don't have to wait until you have more money, more time, or more help. You can choose your thoughts right now. But here's what most people don't understand. You don't have to believe every thought that enters your mind. Thoughts are like visitors knocking at your door. You can invite them in, or you can turn them away. You can entertain them, or you can ignore them. You are not you are the one who chooses which thoughts to think. Every moment offers you a choice point. When a negative thought enters your mind, you can grab it and run with it. Or you can stop and ask, is this thought serving me? Is this thought moving me toward what I want, or away from what I want? The moment you catch a negative thought in the act, you've broken its power over you. The moment you consciously choose a better thought, you've taken control of your mental state. The moment you take control of your mental state, you've taken control of your life. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. This isn't about denying reality. This is about recognizing that your interpretation of reality is what creates your experience of reality. Two people can look at the same situation and see completely different things. One sees a problem, the other sees an opportunity. One sees a setback, the other sees a setup for a comeback. The person who sees opportunities finds opportunities. The person who sees problems finds problems. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. Change how you are, and you change how the world appears to you. But knowing you have a choice is just the beginning. The real question is, how do you actually make that choice work for you every single day? How do you turn this understanding into a practical system that transforms your life from the inside out? Success isn't an event, it's a daily discipline of right thinking. How many of you have ever planted a garden? Raise your hand. Keep them up if you expected to see results the day after you planted the seeds. Of course not. That would be ridiculous. But when it comes to transforming your mind, that's exactly what most people expect. You plant one positive thought and wonder why your life hasn't changed by dinner time. You say one affirmation and get frustrated because you still feel the same way. You try thinking positively for a week and give up because you don't see immediate results. But here's how mental transformation actually works. When a farmer plants corn, he doesn't plant it once and expect a harvest. He plants it, then he waters it, then he fertilizes it, then he protects it from weeds, then he tends to it every single day. He does this not because he sees the corn growing, but because he knows that consistent daily care will produce the harvest. Your mind works exactly the same way. You don't become what you want overnight. You become what you practice daily. Every thought you think is either planting seeds of success or seeds of failure. Every mental habit you repeat is either moving you toward your goals or away from them. Most people plant positive thoughts one day and negative thoughts the next. They water their dreams on Monday and poison them with doubt on Tuesday. They fertilize their goals with affirmations in the morning and kill them with worry in the evening. Then they wonder why nothing grows. But successful people understand something that failures don't. They understand that small daily mental habits compound into major life changes. The person who spends 5 minutes every morning affirming their worth will, over time, develop unshakable confidence. The person who spends 5 minutes every morning worrying about money will, over time, develop a poverty mindset. Let me show you exactly how this works. Take two people with identical circumstances. Same job, same income, same challenges. Person A starts each day by thinking, "I'm not good enough. I'll probably fail. People like me don't succeed." Person B starts each day by thinking, "I'm getting better every day. I can handle whatever comes my way. I'm meant for great things." After one day, the difference is barely noticeable. After 1 week, person A feels slightly more defeated. Person B feels slightly more confident. After 1 month, person A is avoiding opportunities. Person B is creating opportunities. After 1 year, they're living in completely different worlds. The difference: daily mental habit. Person A practiced failure thinking. Person B practiced success thinking. They got exactly what they practiced. This is why you can't judge your progress by how you feel today. You have to judge it by the direction you're heading. If you're practicing better thoughts, you're heading toward better results, even if you can't see them yet. If you're practicing worse thoughts, you're heading toward worse results, even if your current circumstances look fine. Just like crops, mental transformation has season. There's a planting season, a growing season, and a harvest season. Most people quit during the growing season because they can't see what's happening beneath the surface. But that's exactly when the most important work is being done. Life operates according to predictable patterns, and when you understand these patterns, you gain tremendous power. Every challenge you face, every opportunity that comes your way, every success and every failure, they all follow patterns. Master these patterns, and you master your life. Here's pattern number 1. Every problem carries the seed of its own solution. I don't care what you're facing right now: financial struggles, relationship issues, health challenges, career setbacks. Buried inside that problem is the exact solution you need. But you'll never find it while you're focused on the problem. When you think about problems, you see problems. When you think about solutions, you see solutions. The problem isn't the problem. The problem is how you're thinking about the problem. Pattern number 2. What you resist persists. What you accept dissolves. The more you fight against your circumstances, the stronger they become. The more you struggle against your challenges, the more power you give them. But the moment you accept where you are without accepting where you have to stay, everything changes. This doesn't mean you like your circumstances. It means you stop wasting energy fighting reality and start using that energy to create a better reality. Pattern number 3. Your outer world reflects your inner world with mathematical precision. If your life is chaotic, your thinking is chaotic. If your life is peaceful, your thinking is peaceful. If your life is struggling, your thinking is struggling. If your life is prosperous, your thinking is prosperous. Change your inner world, and your outer world has no choice but to follow. This is not opinion, this is law. When you align your thinking with these patterns, you stop swimming against the current and start flowing with it. You stop being surprised by challenges and start being prepared for them. You stop being overwhelmed by opportunities and start being ready for them. But here's what happens to most people. They learn these principles, they get excited about them, and then they sabotage themselves. They sabotage themselves so consistently and so predictably that it's almost funny. If it wasn't so tragic, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why you keep sabotaging yourself. Why you start strong and then quit. Why you make progress and then slide backward. Why you know what to do but you don't do it. How many of you have ever said, "I'll start tomorrow"? Raise your hands. How many of you have ever said, "I'm not ready yet"? Keep those hands up. How many of you have ever said, "I don't have time"? Look around. We're all experts at self-sabotage. Self-sabotage pattern number 1. Making excuses instead of making progress. I'm too busy. I'm too tired. I'm too stressed. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough education. I don't have enough connection. Here's the truth about excuses. They're not explanations. They're escape routes. They're how you avoid taking responsibility for your life. They're how you stay comfortable in your discomfort. Self-sabotage pattern number 2. Procrastinating on the very things that would change your life. You know what you need to do. You know that 5 minutes of positive thinking would change your day. You know that reading for 30 minutes would change your mind. You know that exercising would change your body. But you don't do it. You do everything except the thing that would actually help you. You clean your house instead of cleaning your mind. You organize your closet instead of organizing your thoughts. You binge-watch television instead of watching your life transform. Self-sabotage pattern number 3. Blaming circumstances instead of taking responsibility. My job is stressful. Your family is demanding. The economy is bad. People don't understand me. I didn't have the right opportunities growing up. Maybe all of that is true. But blaming your circumstances for your results is like blaming the mirror for your reflection. The mirror is just showing you what is. If you want to change what you see, you have to change what you're showing it. The mediocrity mindset says, "I'll start tomorrow." The success mindset says, "I'll start now." The mediocrity mindset says, "I'm not ready." The success mindset says, "I'll learn as I go." The mediocrity mindset says, "I don't have time." The success mindset says, "I'll make time." Take 2 people facing job loss. Person A thinks, "This is terrible. I'm too old to start over. No one will hire me. I'll never find anything as good as what I had." Person B thinks, "This is an opportunity. I've been wanting a change. This is the push I needed. I'm going to find something even better." Same circumstances, different thinking. Person A will struggle to find work because they're focused on all the reasons they can't. Person B will find better work because they're focused on all the reasons they can. The comfort zone is the most dangerous place you can live. It feels safe, but it's slowly killing your potential. Your brain is wired to seek comfort and avoid discomfort, but growth lives in discomfort. Success lives in discomfort. Transformation lives in discomfort. Every time you choose the comfortable thought over the growth thought, you're choosing mediocrity. Every time you choose the familiar pattern over the new pattern, you're choosing stagnation. Every time you choose to stay the same over choosing to change, you're choosing to die a little bit. What is staying the same costing you? What opportunities are you missing while you're sitting in your comfort zone? What dreams are dying while you're making excuses? What life are you not living while you're waiting for the perfect moment? The perfect moment is right now. The perfect circumstances are the ones you have right now. The perfect time to change your thinking is right now. But knowing all of this is worthless unless you have a system that actually works. Most people fail with affirmations because they use them like magic spells instead of training tools. They say the words and expect miracles, but affirmations are mental exercises. They're how you deliberately reprogram the automatic patterns in your mind. Here's the 3-step process that actually works. Step 1. Interrupt the negative pattern. The moment you catch yourself thinking a destructive thought, stop it immediately. Don't analyze it. Don't argue with it. Don't try to understand where it came from. Just stop it. Step 2. Insert the positive affirmation. Have specific affirmations ready for your most common negative thoughts. For fear, I am safe and protected in this moment. For lack, I am worthy of all good things. For overwhelm, I handle my responsibilities with ease and grace. Step 3. Feel the truth of the new thought. This is the step most people miss. You can't just think the affirmation, you have to feel it. You have to let it sink into your emotions. You have to experience it in your body. When you say, I am worthy of all good things, don't just think it, feel worthy. Stand like someone who is worthy. Breathe like someone who is worthy. Move like someone who is worthy. The emotional component is what makes affirmations powerful. Repetition is how you embed new patterns into your subconscious. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition. It doesn't judge whether thoughts are true or false, good or bad. It just accepts whatever you repeat most often as reality. If you repeat, I'm not good enough 1,000 times, your subconscious will accept that as truth. If you repeat, I am capable and confident 1,000 times, your subconscious will accept that as truth. Which reality would you rather live in? The key is consistency. It's better to spend 5 minutes every day on affirmations than to spend an hour once a week. It's better to practice positive thinking for a short time every day than to practice it intensively for a few days and then stop. This isn't about perfection, this is about progress. You don't have to get it right every time, you just have to get it right more often than you get it wrong. Every time you choose a positive thought over a negative thought, you're building mental muscle. Every time you interrupt a destructive pattern, you're weakening its hold on you. Now, understanding these principles is one thing, but living them consistently, that's where the real transformation happens. That's where theory becomes reality. That's where knowledge becomes power. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle next. How you start your day determines how you live your life. Who here checks their phone within the first 5 minutes of waking up? Raise your hands. Keep them up if the first thing you see is bad news, problems, or other people's drama. Look around. Most of us are programming our minds for failure before we even get out of bed. Your first thought of the day is the most important thought you'll think. It sets the tone for everything that follows. It's like the first domino in a chain reaction. If your first thought is negative, it knocks down every other thought in a negative direction. If your first thought is positive, it creates momentum in a positive direction. Most people wake up and immediately surrender control of their minds. They let their circumstances think for them. They let their problems think for them. They let their fears think for them. They let their phone think for them. Then they wonder why their entire day feels out of control. But what if I told you that you could completely transform your life by changing what happens in the first 5 minutes after you wake up? What if I told you that this one simple change could give you more control over your thoughts, your emotions, and your results than anything else you could do? Before you get out of bed tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, before you worry about your schedule, I want you to think this one thought. Today is full of opportunities for me. Don't think about whether you believe it or not. Don't analyze whether it's true or false. Just think it. Feel it. Let it be the first program you install in your mind for the day. While you're getting ready for your day, while you're showering, while you're getting dressed, while you're eating breakfast, I want you to think specific affirmations for your biggest challenges. If money is your biggest challenge, think, I am attracting abundant opportunities today. If relationships are your biggest challenge, think, I am surrounded by loving, supportive people. If health is your biggest challenge, think, my body is strong and healing. Before you start work, before you face the world, before you encounter your first challenge, I want you to think, I am capable of handling whatever comes my way. This isn't positive thinking, this is strategic thinking. You're not pretending everything is perfect. You're preparing your mind for success. You're loading the mental software that will help you win. Now, some of you are thinking, but what if I wake up feeling terrible? What if I'm depressed? What if I'm anxious? What if I don't feel like thinking positive thoughts? That's exactly when you need this the most. When you wake up feeling anxious, your first thought should be, I am safe and protected in this moment. When you wake up feeling depressed, your first thought should be, this feeling will pass, and I will feel better. When you wake up feeling overwhelmed, your first thought should be, I can handle this one step at a time. You're not trying to convince yourself that you feel great when you don't. You're giving yourself a lifeline. You're throwing yourself a rope when you're drowning in negative emotion. The 5-minute rule will change your life. Just 5 minutes of intentional positive thinking every morning will build mental strength that compounds throughout the day. 5 minutes of choosing your thoughts instead of being chosen by them. 5 minutes of programming your mind for success instead of programming it for failure. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to wake up tomorrow and your mind is going to resist this. It's going to say, I don't feel like it. This is stupid. It's not going to work. Your mind is comfortable with the old patterns. It doesn't want to change. That's exactly when you need to do it anyway. Not because you feel like it, but because it works. Champions don't train when they feel like it. They train especially when they don't feel like it. Winners don't think positive thoughts when it's easy. They think positive thoughts when it's hard. But what happens when negative thoughts hit you during the day? What happens when someone cuts you off in traffic? What happens when you make a mistake at work? What happens when you get rejected or disappointed? What happens when life punches you in the gut? You need a system. You need a way to interrupt negative thoughts before they spiral out of control. You need mental tools that work in real time, in real situations, with real pressure. Here's the stop technique that will save your sanity. Stop the thought immediately. The moment you catch yourself thinking something destructive, cut it off. Don't let it finish. Don't let it build momentum. Just stop it. Take a conscious breath. Breathe in slowly and deliberately. This breaks the pattern and gives you space to choose a better thought. Observe what you were thinking. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Just notice it. I was thinking I'm going to fail. I was thinking I'm not good enough. I was thinking this is hopeless. Pivot to a positive alternative. Replace the negative thought with a positive one. I'm going to succeed. I am good enough. There's always a way through. When someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of thinking, what an idiot, people are so rude, think, I'm grateful to be safe. I choose peace over anger. When you make a mistake at work, instead of thinking, I'm so stupid, I always mess up, think, I'm human, I'm learning, I'll do better next time. This takes practice. Your brain is wired to react, not respond. It's wired to be negative, not positive. But every time you use the stop technique, you're rewiring your brain. You're building new neural pathways. You're creating new automatic responses. The key is having specific positive thoughts ready to replace your most common negative ones. You need a mental first aid kit. You need go-to thoughts for go-to problems. For overwhelm, I can handle this one step at a time. For fear, I am safe and protected right now. For anger, I choose peace over conflict. For sadness, this too shall pass. For frustration, I am patient and calm. Practice these when you don't need them so they're available when you do need them. Train your mind like you'd train your body. Build mental muscle through repetition. The 24-hour challenge will prove to you that this works. Go one full day without entertaining a single negative thought. Not one. Every time a negative thought enters your mind, use the stop technique. Replace it immediately. You'll be amazed at how often you think negative thoughts without even realizing it. You'll be amazed at how much mental energy you waste on worry, fear, and doubt. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel when you're not constantly battling yourself. But what about the end of the day? What about when you're tired, stressed, and mentally exhausted? What about when you've been using the stop technique all day, and you're ready to give up? Your last thoughts before sleep program your subconscious. Your subconscious mind is most open to suggestion when you're relaxed and drowsy. What you think about as you fall asleep becomes what you dream about. What you dream about becomes what you wake up thinking about. Every night, before you close your eyes, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. What went well today? What could I improve tomorrow? What am I grateful for? Focus on what went well. Even if you had a terrible day, find something Maybe you used the stop technique once. Maybe you chose one positive thought. Maybe you didn't give up. Celebrate small victories. They build momentum for bigger victories. Focus on what you could improve tomorrow, not what you did wrong today, not what you should have done differently, what you could do better tomorrow. This programs your mind for growth, not guilt. Focus on what you're grateful for. Gratitude is the fastest way to shift your mental state. You cannot be grateful and negative at the same time. It's neurologically impossible. Before you fall asleep, think this one thought: I release today with peace and wake up refreshed and ready. Let go of the mistakes, the disappointments, the frustrations. Tomorrow is a new day with new opportunities. Set a specific time when you stop processing problems. Maybe it's 10 p.m., but after that time, no more problem solving, no more worrying, no more mental work. Your mind needs rest to function properly. Spend the last few minutes before sleep mentally rehearsing success for tomorrow. See yourself waking up positive. See yourself using the stop technique. See yourself choosing better thoughts. See yourself having a great day. What you rehearse in your mind, you'll perform in your life. What you visualize, you'll actualize. What you practice mentally, you'll execute physically. But what happens when life really hits hard? What happens when you lose your job? What happens when someone you love gets sick? What happens when your world falls apart? What happens when positive thinking feels impossible? You need crisis affirmation. You need thoughts that work when everything else fails. You need mental tools for your darkest moment. When you're overwhelmed by circumstances, think, I can handle this one step at a time. When you're drowning in problems, think, this too shall pass. When you feel like giving up, think, I am stronger than this challenge. When you're stressed about money, think, there is always a way through. When you're worried about your future, think, I am resourceful and capable. When you're afraid of failure, think, I learn and grow from every experience. When you're angry at someone, think, I respond with love and wisdom. When you're lonely, think, I attract healthy relationships. When you're disappointed, think, better things are coming. Stand up straight when you say these. Your physical posture affects your mental state. When you stand like a winner, you think like a winner. When you stand like a victim, you think like a victim. Keep a journal of proof that your positive thinking is working. Write down the opportunities you notice. Write down the solutions you find. Write down the people you meet. Write down the doors that open. Evidence builds belief. Belief builds results. Don't try to do this alone. Share your affirmations with people who support you. Practice positive thinking with others who are also trying to grow. Mental transformation is easier when you're surrounded by people who believe in you. Here's your 30-day transformation challenge. Week 1, master the morning routine. Week 2, add the stop technique throughout the day. Week 3, implement the evening reset. Week 4, practice the crisis affirmations. Track your progress. Notice how you feel. Notice how you act. Notice how people respond to you. Notice how opportunities show up. Notice how problems get solved. You're going to miss days. You're going to fall back into old patterns. You're going to get frustrated and want to quit. That's normal. That's expected. That's part of the process. When you miss a day, don't miss 2 days. When you fall back into old patterns, use the stop technique to get back on track. When you get frustrated, remember why you started. You'll know your new patterns are taking hold when positive thinking starts feeling natural. When you automatically look for solutions instead of problems. When you automatically see opportunities instead of obstacles. When you automatically choose hope instead of fear. Remember what I told you at the beginning, you are one thought away from transformation. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, in this moment. The choice is yours. You can continue being a victim of your thoughts, or you can become the master of them. You can continue letting your mind run wild, or you can take control of it. You can continue living by accident, or you can start living on purpose. Before you go to sleep tonight, choose one affirmation and repeat it until you feel it in your bones. Choose one thought that serves you and make it the last thought you think. Choose one positive program to install in your subconscious. Do this consistently, and 6 months from now you won't recognize the person you used to be. Your confidence will be unshakable. Your peace will be unbreakable. Your success will be undeniable. Your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever own. The question is, will you use it, or will you let it use you? The choice is yours. The time is now. The power is within you. Start today. Start right now. Start with one thought. One positive, powerful, life-changing thought. Because that's all it takes. That's all it's ever taken. One thought away from transformation. One thought away from the life you've always wanted. One thought away from becoming who you were meant to be.